You all right? You okay? How's your new phone? Big Biz Show, BigBizShow.com, 70 million TV homes strong, 150 radio stations, and 175 countries and all the ships at sea, thanks to our good friends at American Forces Radio Network. Rusty Nailz is over there. I'm Sully. Great to have you along today. And would you listen to this music here, Rusty? Let me just pull this down here. Let me just do this. How do you like that? Isn't that beautiful? That is Stanley Yerlow. Stanley Yerlow, by the way, was the director-conductor for show business legend Regis Philbin, which was very much closer than yours was.
Much.
That wasn't even it. That sounded like Al Pacino. Honey! And you're going to hear the cello in the background, which you hear, which I think is, I'm going to tell you right now.
Cello.
Because I have piano music playing in my house all the time now. I'm changing the channel to this. Because this, and by the way, this is coming from my Krueger and Yerlow, Trey Krueger, I beg your pardon, Stanley Yerlow iTunes album that I just purchased. Hey, like that.
Wow.
Killing it. Joining us here right now, Trey Krueger, principal cellist for the Atlanta Opera Orchestra and the Atlanta Ballet Orchestra, as well as Stanley Yerlow, music director, conductor, and legend in show business. Kids, how are you? It's so nice to talk to you today. Thanks for joining us on the Big Biz Show. It's great having this music in the background on this set, guys.
Well, Sully, Sheree is so busy. She has an opera, La Boheme, that she's the main principal cellist for, and that show, that opera starts in about 6 minutes.
So basically, so you're telling me we lost the brains and the beauty, and we're just stuck with you. Is that what you're telling me?
No, she had to leave. She is so busy. She's in charge of the ballet opera. She does chamber music. I have to make appointments with her to rehearse.
Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to have you both back when we're not so stuck on time here. But talk to us about the business of music here. You've made an entire living out of being a musician. Do you realize how tough that is to do for someone, doing something they love like that at such a high level? Because basically, you have played in Carnegie Hall. You have played at Lincoln Center. Talk to us about a little bit about the journey for yourself.
Well, it started when I was 4 years old, I guess you could say. It takes a whole lifetime to get there, and most of the people don't even get there once they get there, you know. So
is it a matter of luck? Was it a matter of timing?
No, it's a matter of competence, and it's a matter of luck always has something to do with it.
Yeah.
But it's just generally you get some breaks, and you're able to follow through on them sometimes.
Talk to us about
making a living just with in music is very exciting, and it's a lot of fun, and it's very self-rewarding because it's music moves the soul, and so when you're doing something like that in music. It's not so much the money, it's the achievement of solving problems that really makes one feel very good about it.
See, I told you, Sully. That's why I like to go to those little nickel-dime bars and play a couple hours.
Russ plays guitar called Hammock Rock. When you talk about solving problems, talk about that. I never thought of it that way.
Oh, well, yeah, the composer writes the problems, and it's up to the performer to solve those problems.
That's fantastic.
And there's tons of them, it's just over and over and over again. And how a person solves those problems gives them their personality. Not two people would ever play the same piece the same way twice. Not even one person would play the same piece the same way twice. There's always different because you always hear something different. Your ear does something differently, and that's what makes it live. Live music means change.
Mm-hmm. Well, so let's talk about your CD because as we were listening, we played it in the last break quite a bit. We played it out of the last break. We played it in this break. Talk about what kind of music is on the Krueger and Yerlow in concert CD.
Well, we have a Beethoven Sonata, the one number 4, he wrote 5, and a Rachmaninoff Sonata for cello and piano. This Rachmaninoff piece was so difficult for piano that they just couldn't call it a cello sonata. They had to call it a sonata for piano and cello.
So
it's about a 30-minute piece.
So, but here's my question for you: someone who is as accomplished as you on the piano is faced with this problem, as you say. Do you take this sections at a time, or do you, in other words, is it a memorization sort of process? I mean, because you can't flip pages for 30 minutes. How does that process work for you?
Well, first of all, you have to decide what it is that you want to do, and you have to decide what's the best way to be able to say that. Music has to do with saying something. If you don't have anything to say with your music, you're really not going to be any good. Mm-hmm. So you have to kind of have a dialogue as to what you're going to say. And then you choose the fingering that gives you that interpretation, and then you see if it works. If it doesn't work, you throw it out and try something else.
Oh my goodness! So there isn't a one size fits all to something like this.
No. Like this Rachmaninoff piece, for example, I'm now working on it for the second year.
For the
Oh, my
second
God.
year?
You're lazy.
Yeah, for
Wow.
the second year.
Wow.
You know what? The first
So
song I wrote.
it never ends. I mean, once you solve the problems and it's solved, it's dead. There's nothing to do anymore with it. It always has to be something more to look forward to, something else to solve. You see something else you didn't see before. It always is moving, and that's what makes it kind of fun. So you really never, ever accomplish it.
Krueger and
It's
Yerlow
always
in
in the
concert.
process of being accomplished.
The Krueger and Yerlow in concert CD you can see on iTunes and right here on the Big Biz Show.
I think everybody's got a little musical talent in them. They get scared when they try to pick up a guitar and strum
None
it
of those
once and
people
they suck.
none of those people on American Idol have any talent. So I don't know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
really?
Let me ask
Well,
you
they
something.
think they
Well,
do.
talent is an interesting word. I always felt like talent was something that everybody else has.
Yes, right. Stanley Yerlow on the phone with us here. Let me ask you this. Could Rachmaninoff actually play his own music, do you think?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Rachmaninoff was known as a pianist.
Really? So he's not just writing difficult stuff. He's writing difficult stuff that he could play as well.
He's writing difficult stuff.
Wow.
Where do you? I mentioned iTunes. Where else can you find your new album?
There's Rhapsody. There's iTunes. There's Apple iTunes. It's 25 different places
Okay,
that have
good.
it. I'm just looking at it.
We're going to throw it up on our
25.
website. We'll throw it up on our website. We'll tweet it out to our 20,000.
Yeah,
and
the best one to use is cdbaby.com.
Sure, cdbaby.com.
Yeah, cdbaby.com.
Wow.
But you have to be very careful. The spelling of Krueger, the name of the album is Krueger and Yerlow in concert, but you spell Krueger Krueger.
Well, we have it right up there on the television screen for people to see it, and our radio audience, I'll tweet it out to them as well. By the way, are you performing somewhere next that we can see you across this fine country?
Well, I'm performing with Regis in a couple of weeks outside of Detroit.
You know, Regis started right here in San Diego. Did you know that?
Yeah. He's probably in California. The next few days he'll be in California.
Yeah.
So,
but that's on October 24th at a place called Andiamo's in right outside of Detroit, Michigan.
listen,
And,
I appreciate your time. We're running out of time, Stanley. Stanley Yerlow on the phone. Krueger and Yerlow in concert. That CD available on CD Baby, iTunes, and the rest of them.